Hi.
Okay, well, girl,
What up, girl?
what else I'm gonna use my phone for camera because it looks better.
Oh,
It's always fun to now that I know your place,
now you can
I'm there now.
get it.
Yeah, exactly.
You see what's happening here.
I
Look
have.
at how good your flowers are doing. Oh, you can't really tell.
Alright.
Whatever. The lily came back to life.
Oh, Riri. All right, all right.
I have
What
to grab
up?
my notebook.
What up? What up, D-Rod? What up, Kelsey? Week 4, baby. Week 4. After this week, we're halfway. And then it gets really fun. I mean, it's all fun, but once we have this foundation set of the first 4 weeks, then we're just in fun territory. All right, let's jump in. See if the oh, here come the Australians, the Aussies. All right, the squad is here today. All right, all right, all right. Week 4. We're getting into the how of all the things. What's up, Paul and Alex? Paul, hope you're feeling better, dude. All right, week 4, the how. And I'm probably just gonna close this again. Um, whoa, what's happening here? That is, oh, that's the right place. That's the right thing. That's right. I wanted to bring up the assignment. How'd it go? I didn't see anybody's mission. The mild, the minimum requirement this week, I saw nobody's mission. So I'm just gonna stop sharing this and check in and see what's going on with everybody's mission. Do you have a mission? Rule number 3, action creates clarity. Where are people's missions? What's going on?
I feel like I'm stuck in two kind of like chapters of my life.
Okay.
And that's why I feel like my mission is not crystal clear right now.
You're gonna
So
wait till it's crystal clear to just
no, of course not, but
okay.
help me. No, of course not. So the story, well, my speech that you gave feedback on, that really is about like me waking up to I don't have to do things the way I've been taught,
Hmm.
right? And then I think there's like a second chapter of my life, like post breaking off my engagement, moving across the country, like kind of starting from a place of like really knowing myself more.
Hmm.
So I feel like there's these like two chapters. So when I was thinking about like my old myth to new myth, it's like I actually don't think corporate's a bad thing. I'm in a corporate job right now.
Hmm.
So although I don't like it. So so there's that.
Yeah.
Um so I think I'm having a hard time because I'm looking at my life in these two different segments. The thing I want to talk about is more about this future part, like this where I am right now part of my life
Hmm.
versus like the story that got me off the traditional path is still relevant, but not the thing I want to like speak on.
Okay.
Do you
Uh
see what I mean?
yeah, I'm just gonna simplify this and just ask you like, what is your mission? What's your hypothesis of your mission right now?
Yeah, well, then Amy threw out like you want to step into your power. And I'm like, yeah, that is actually what it is. And also, I'm thinking from a sales perspective of like how the speaking industry works, resiliency is the thing I keep coming back to as like the thing that's going to help me be a market fit to the audiences I want to speak to.
Yeah. It might be helpful if we go through this week's um maybe if we come back to you after we go through
Okay. Okay.
week 4 training, it might help you. And by the way, I'll say it to everybody, like if you're not sure, throw some shit out. We are always refining. I'm gonna keep talking about this opportunities to just continually refine, but just to get it out, like to have these conversations. I don't want you guys waiting until every call that we can just like, you know, if you're like Alex and you're like, I'm between two places, blah blah, that's the stuff I want to see in circle. Share this
Right.
with me so we can have a little bit of conversation, a little chat back and forth. And then we get on Monday's call, and now we've worked through some of that stuff, and now we can go a little bit deeper. And so I want to make sure that Thursday's Q&A, wherever you're at, and I don't care if you want to talk about week 1 stuff, By the way, week one, when I was like, do the worker, like, I'm gonna tell you to just fucking show up. Probably should never said that. Like, I don't care where you are. If you feel behind, just keep showing up. I'll support you wherever you're at. Everyone's always at their different pace. This is like a week by week thing that we're doing here, but you might not nail your story till next year. I don't know, but hopefully giving you these frameworks will help you get closer to that. And you could be doing a whole new thing by next year. Anyway, rant over, but I want you guys to just keep remembering that you're in the refinement of all of this. And the way you will get clarity, rule number three, is by taking action. And that action includes just do the assignment. Just make something up. Be like, my mission is to make sure no squirrels go hungry, by the time spring rolls around. I leave acorns all over the fucking grass. Like, just say something. That's obviously not anyone's mission. But by saying that and taking a bold statement, allowing everybody else to witness you and saying that is going to get you closer. But continuing to ruminate and be like, it's not perfect yet, it's not perfect yet. When the fuck has that ever been the case of any part of life, right? Um, so everybody, I'm not going to keep going until everybody drops their mission in the chat right now.
And are we more of a my personal mission or my business mission or together?
Uh, what do you feel the difference is?
I feel like the difference is that my personal mission, I don't know, is just about myself. And then the business mission is more like what I want to do for others.
Okay. Uh, we are going to talk more about this next week a little bit.
Okay.
But we've chatted about this, which is
Yeah.
that why don't you give me both and maybe you can tell me right now if you have them both. What's your personal mission? What's your business mission?
Oh, my personal mission is to be present in spaces where others don't feel valued, heard, or represented, that I am a voice for the underserved. Like I will be there pushing down walls for others so that everyone is seen. My business mission is creating a multifaceted nonprofit that helps communities, individuals, children, youth find their voice, resiliency, and hope for their future. I'm just making it up.
Yeah, kind of sounds the same though, honestly.
Okay.
Like your help in this one way, your personal mission helping people have their voices heard. In this other way, you have this nonprofit that's helping people. You might not say their voices heard, but that's kind of what it sounds like. It's very similar.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna combine it.
Yeah.
Right now.
Play with
Okay.
that. I'll speak to I'm trying to remember my slides if I speak to this. I don't know if I speak this more directly, but I'll talk to it. I can just riff on it a little bit towards the end. Okay, cool. So Denise, you just shared yours. You can type it too if you'd like. Alex, I inspire women to create an authentically happy life by helping them realize their own resiliency. Awesome. Paul, my mission. Broke my own personal limitations. Now I teach others how to do the same. Awesome. Kelsey, I help people uncover their weird, wonderful self in order to create more meaningful relationships and build community. Awesome. Nice. Um, oh, that was Paul's mission. So, well, yeah, Paul's mission. Okay, this is Amy's mission. My mission is to guide people back to their body, back to their center. Alex has a second option. I help women own what they want and go after it, helping them recognize their own resilience. Nice. Okay, cool. We can play with the wording. Again, that's part of continuing to refine. Uh, and like the ultimate goal is that you could hopefully, you're seeing how your story shows up in all of this, um, how that story relates to your mission. And then, yeah, when you're on like networking calls, you can just come and say this. And my offer to you guys is because we're all always refining, when you're in places, when you're at a run club, people ask you what you do. When you're on a networking call, whatever, when you're on things like that, when grandma at Christmas is like, what do you do? You just, no preamble, you just say what you do. Alex would say, I hope women own what they want and go after it. I hope them recognize their own resilience. And then grandma goes, what the fuck does that mean? And then you can explain and then add a little bit more to it. But the goal is to just like stay with authority, create some curiosity. And then if the right person hears that, they go, whoa, that's really intriguing. Can you tell me more about that? Then you get to share. But what I would offer to you guys is no more of this. I'm kind of in, yeah, Alex, not to pick on you because I literally did this a few weeks ago. I'm kind of in between things. So like here's this kind of thing and it's not perfect, but oh, so don't hate me, don't dislike me because I don't know. No more of that shit. You with a proud chest, you say what your current mission statement is and you own the fuck out of it. And then when people get curious, or if they don't get curious and they're like, oh, cool, and they don't ask you a question, you're like, honestly, fuck that person. But people who like it and get curious, you get to then share more about it and give them even more clarity. But I listened to this one podcast that I love that was like, I have no idea what it was, or it was years ago, but it's like mission statements, elevator pitches are should be incomplete. They should be enough to get someone like the person that you want to be curious about it to go like, whoa, tell me more. And then you get to share more. But it doesn't need to be this all-encompassing statement. It should just be like, whoa, that feels like me and that feels like something I want. Please tell me more. Um, yeah. So anyway, that rant's over. We'll see how and if these mission statements change towards the end of this call, and so we'll check back in on that. But let's go through the training today. Um, yeah, and we'll pick up from there. Thank you all. Did anyone else do any of this? Did anyone start drone practice, or did anybody share their mission on social media? Anyone do the medium or spicy homework?
I
Show
have
of
a
hands.
post drafted about my birthday that ties in my mission.
Nice. Is it incomplete? Is that why it's drafted?
Well, it's drafted because I'm collecting all the pictures at the moment.
Okay, nice. Okay. When's it
So
getting posted?
I don't know.
I'll probably make it post it. Alex and I are going for a run later. I'll probably make it post it tonight.
We'll see.
No run then. Anyone else? Did anyone else post about their mission? I think Kelsey, you did, right?
Um, yeah, in a sense. I didn't like outright say it, but I made a post that is essentially the core of it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Nice. Awesome.
Also about my birthday, Alex. That's funny.
Yeah. Birthday post, right? That's a great time. Great time to do it. All right, sweet. All right, so cool. We got our old myth, new myth. We got missions. It's all coming together. And again, like what I really enjoy about this course and just this process is like I'm just gonna talk about the refinement again. Like as we keep going through this, your story will get better. As we keep going through this, your mission will probably get clear. Your mission will probably get more clear. And so again, just like it's not like we're done now. Oh, you're done with your story. You guys can post drafts of your story on week 8 if you want, and be like, it's better now. I want to share it. You can volunteer in Q&A to be like, can I share my story? I think I fucking nailed it. Like, I want you, or like, I have a new idea for my mission. Can I share it? It's not like we're on week 3 and we're done with week 1 stuff, right? So, just continuing this process, and each lesson is building on each other and getting more clear. All right, so we have our story, your new Miss story, who you once were, now who you are, and this is your why. This is what continues to move you forward. Kind of what Denise was asking, like personal mission, business mission. If we are changing the world, ultimately, you can only take people to a place that you've been to before. So really, this is your gift to the world, is the story you've went through. And this is what continues to drive you when things get difficult, when you want to run away, when you get hate comments. You remember why you're doing what you're doing. And this is what really resonates with people on a deep level. And then we have our mission we just talked about. What what are you doing to change the world? What is this thing that you're after? What are people going to rally behind? Right? People see your mission, go, that's what I fucking need. That's what I've been looking for. Let's fucking go. Okay, now this week we're going to work on this zone of genius. This is the how. And we have the how already in our mission statement. So again, we're just continuing to refine. And so this might help you with that zone of genius part of the mission statement. So Uh, about 2.5 years ago, I came on Instagram and I was like, I'm the fucking storytelling guy. And I just took a stand for that. Like I was a business coach, and then I was like, well, it's really branding that I really love. And then from branding, it was like, oh, I'm the fucking storytelling guy. And through a bunch of reflection, through some people I really trust, they were just like fucking love it when you like the way you break down stories is like great. I love that. And I would talk about other part of marketing and branding and all this stuff, but like when you talk about storytelling, like that. And if anybody's into human design, these are like my projector friends. Projectors can like see you and see things for people. And so this was I was like, oh, I see this so clearly. Oh wait, hold on. I wanted to do this. Hold on real quick. Yeah, all right, there we go. That's way cooler. All right, this excites me so much having this green screen effect. Sick. All right, we're in business now. Um, and and so I like announced to Instagram like I'm the storytelling guy, and then people are like, yeah, no shit, like you've always been the storytelling guy. I'm like, oh, like that's really interesting. And all of this was kind of happening while I was getting this reflection back from my friends, and then I was like, I'm just gonna own that. And then people started reflecting that back to me, like, yeah, you've always been the storytelling guy. And I'm like sitting, I'm like, whoa, this is actually really interesting. So I started to look back in time. And actually, before I get here, I went to into ConvertKit, which would host my landing pages and when people signed up for my master classes that I would host. And there are master classes on all sorts of things, like I said, like branding and content creation and editing, and then there would be like a storytelling one. And every time I taught storytelling, like triple, quadruple the signups and silly me for never being like, hello. But I realized that I started realizing at this point, I was like, wow, everyone just like signs up for the storytelling stuff. Like, no kidding, I should do more of that stuff. And then I started to reflect more on life. And then I went back to 2019 when I became a personal trainer. And this was really the time, quit, y'all know a little bit of the story, quit engineering in New York City to move to Colorado to be a personal trainer. And just immediately I was like, I gotta start making content. Like I gotta be the personal trainer, start talking about fitness, all this stuff. At the same time, I was building my photography business. So I actually had two accounts, which was a highly don't recommend. If you want to have that conversation, happy to talk about that. Don't do two accounts. It's miserable. Um, all right, I'm not gonna go on that rant. But if you do want to talk about that, let me know. Uh, and I just started posting content and I just started talking about fitness and no one told me to do it. I didn't take any business course that was like how to market yourself. I was just like, I need to make content. I need to market myself. Like, let's let people know how much I love fitness. And so I just started doing it. And then I kept reflecting and I kept going back in my life and I was like, that bike trip that I took. I wrote a blog every single day on that bike trip. And even before the bike trip, I did that for like I wanted to document it and share it. But even before the bike trip started, I started the blog. This is an article from February 2016. The bike trip started June of 2020. Um, sorry, June 20th of 2016. This is an article from February, but I think I started the blog in November or December. I just started rereading it again. And the first blog is like, all right, I started this blog to document my bike ride across America, but like, I can't wait. I want to talk about like how I'm preparing, riding around New York City, all my training. So like I'm starting the blog now and enjoy the journey. And so I just start sharing the journey. And then I go on the bike trip, and then every single day I'm on Snapchat. Every single day, and I've uploaded them all to YouTube. You can watch them day 75, 76, 80, like every single day between 2 to 5 minutes, there's a full Snapchat story that I downloaded and uploaded to YouTube. And I would just share my journey. I'm just like, eating apples from the side of the road. I'm mooing at cows. I'm just screaming at the top of my lungs, singing songs, making funny jokes and puns, and I'm just having the time of my life. And people would reflect back to me like, I had a few friends, in long-term relationships, and they're like, me and my partner, my wife, like we will not watch your Snapchat stories until we get home, until it's like 8 p.m. and we will sit down and we will watch them together like they're a little mini TV show. I had like multiple couples tell me that. I'm like, that's cute and awesome, and I love that. And I just loved sharing my journey. And then we keep going back. And funny enough, this is like a little side tangent here, but I was looking for, I was deep in Facebook looking for early high school photos from Facebook. And I was trying to get a photo to represent me as a high schooler. And crazy enough, I was just finding so many pictures of me playing guitar. And this is actually me playing harmonica. Um, and this is my mom's birthday. I think I was a junior in high school, had two margaritas, went to a party, worst drunk of my life, drank a whole water bottle of vodka, don't remember the rest of the night, puked, my brain's out, woke up the next morning, was puking all day. This was, I think, Young Life Camp. This was Battle of the Bands. That's my brother. Um, I don't remember playing harmonica. I have no idea where that is. Uh, so anyway, uh, so just a side note of like, I've always had this artist in me. And but the reason I was going back to high school to try to get a photo um, from high school was just to represent this specific story where, and you guys may have heard me talk about this, but I was really good at math, just A's. Math was easy for me. Like we would take tests, I'd finish in like 25 minutes, and the teacher would be like, "Just sit there and shut up," and I couldn't shut up, and you know, but English, I was so bad at English and social studies too, but really just bad at English. I hated it. But there was one class that I loved, or there were two classes that I got A's in, and they were creative writing classes. And I love creative writing, and it was easy for me. And I remember writing those stories in those creative writing classes, and how much fun I had, and how much joy I had writing those stories, and just got to kind of express and tell stories. But being good at math, that wasn't nurtured. Math was nurture. Of course, like that makes sense in the world that we're in. And that led to, you guys know my story, like then becoming on whoops, I thought I had another picture here, but whatever. Then becoming a civil engineer and moving and living in New York City and being an engineer and all that stuff. But ultimately, this artist part of me and the storyteller was never nurtured. And so I buried it and it died. And I was the math guy and I leaned into civil engineering. And when I look back at this whole story, I realized, just like everyone told me, I've always been the storytelling guy. Guy in quotes because this is obviously a baby photo. But when I think about my life, I was always willing to be vulnerable and share parts of myself. And the unfortunate thing that I think pretty much everybody experiences on the rare occasion when people don't experience that is that it kind of just gets beaten out of you. It gets beaten out of you or it's not nurtured. And this artistic part of me wasn't really nurtured. It wasn't pushed away necessarily. No one ever said don't play guitar. No one ever said stop writing, but the math stuff, right? And the culture and the society we're in just said do that, Matt. And that's how I got love and praise. And it wasn't from this artistic side of me. And so I lost a lot of that growing up. And that also was what made me turn into kind of a shell of my person and maybe not fall out of love with life ultimately. And yeah, this happens to all of us. And the interesting part of this is that what ends up happening alongside of this is that we get rewarded for what is difficult and hard. If it's really hard, people celebrate you. And if people go, what happens when people say, "Oh, Kelsey, easy for you"? And what do you do? No, 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 it wasn't easy for me. Like it was so hard. I moved across the country. I worked so hard. The marathon, I trained so hard. You have to justify how fucking hard you worked. And so your worth becomes the struggle. And so we unconsciously struggle more than we need to. And now I know we just went through our stories and we talk about the trying, right? Pixar's number one rule of storytelling, we admire a character for trying. That's life. You are going to struggle. It's unavoidable. But I'm talking about the unnecessary struggling that society just kind of puts on us. It would be crazy for somebody to go, easy for you. And you would go, yeah, it was. It was so fucking easy because I just did what came easy for me. I just did the thing that I love. And again, it's not that there aren't challenges along the way. It's not that you won't have obstacles to overcome. but the obstacles aren't so bad. You actually love showing up for the obstacles. And there's this Taoist principle called Wu Wei, which is basically means effortless action. And so we've kind of demonized the idea of hard work, right? Like we want things to be easy and try to make everything efficient. But that's actually not what we would like. If things were easy, we'd be bored. Ultimately, what we want is we want this level of where things are hard, but it's a hard of our choosing. And so you're either like Stanley and you're in a corporate job that you hate because you don't get to choose. Like Alex said, corporate's not actually that bad. It's just most of the time people are doing work that they don't actually want to do. And that's why it sucks. And that's what makes it hard work. But hard work is actually extremely energizing when you choose it. And that to me is what Wu Wei is. It's this effortless action. Why do I show up and run when most people hate running? Because I choose to do track workouts. I love when my lungs when and my mouth tastes like blood after a track workout because I worked hard. I love that feeling. I like going to the tennis courts and practicing my serve, as fucking annoying as it can be to miss a bunch of serves. I love showing up because then I love the mat and I love when the matches are hard. And if the match is like 6-0, 6-0, and I just beat down a person, that's not a fun tennis match, right? We like we like these challenges. And ultimately, I got a big, we're gonna go deep into this next week too, about Wu Wei and flow and the joy of pursuing this life. But ultimately, what I want you all to understand is that your natural gifts, the things that have come easy to you in your life, are your gifts to the world. And instead of having society, which is what mostly happens, or your parents or whatever, not nurture these things, push them away, it's those things we want to rediscover that you get to offer the world. And it becomes a really fun part of mastery where you go, why is this so easy for me? I bet I can get even better at this if I understand it more deeply. And to me, that's fun. And so when I think about the fact that I was always a storyteller and then I own this, and then people start going, oh, Matt, what are some storytelling books you read? And now I've read some, but at the time I was like, I haven't read any. I would just like tell stories. It's just always been easy for me to show up and be vulnerable, right? Again, when I look back at that history of me, no one had to told me to write a blog about my bike trip. No one told me to get on Snapchat. Nobody told me to start my personal brand when I was a personal trainer. Nobody had to tell me these things. When I did those creative writing classes, the creative writing was so good and I got A's because I was vulnerable. I would share the deep truths of who I was and my thoughts. And no one had to teach me those things. And so that was a natural gift for me. And now, well, what do I get to do? I get to be a storytelling coach. And I get to build the mastery of like, why is this easy for me? What what makes my story so good? And it's a fun process of uncovering like, what is this? Not only does it help me get even better at it, really start to develop mastery, because it's one thing to naturally be able to do something, but it's another thing to be able to teach it to somebody else. That's real mastery. And then it becomes fun and easy. And no one's forcing you to do these things, just like Stanley in the office, right? No one's forcing you to have to show up and learn about these things. You get to learn about the things you love because you love them. And then people go, wow, that was easy for you. And you're like, yeah, it was. So this is your zone of genius. This is how you are going to help people with the mission. Probably along your journey and maybe even in your story. You may or may not have, and again, this will go into the refinement as well. This might help you refine your story. But there's been things that you've done and worked really hard at that honestly weren't in alignment, and maybe you've gotten good at them, and that's really cool. And that could be part of what you offer the world as well. But there are also probably things in your life, and maybe it was even pre your Numis story, that you just did naturally. and you may have lost your way in that, and maybe along your journey, you've been refining that. Um, and that can be a piece of what you get to offer the world. And I would encourage you to continue to lean into that. So this isn't like a this or that. It could be like kind of amalgamation. I'll talk about that in a second. But we're gonna do an exercise. So grab out your journals if you have them. Hopefully you do at this point. We do this every call, so we're always gonna be doing something like this. We're gonna exercise on your natural gifts. Uh, before so I'm gonna ask you like 5 questions. These 5 questions aren't like related to each other. I just want you to go into each question as like it's just a different prompt. They might relate. You might find overlap. There might be a pattern there. But that's not the point of them. The point of them are just to give you different perspectives on ways that you might be able to uncover your natural gifts to the world. And so the first one, and we'll go again, you can spend a lot of time with this. We'll go like 5 minutes with each one. Um, and then you can always come back to this and journal on it later. So, question number one, what did you love as a kid? If it's difficult to remember childhood memories, you can look at old photos of yourself. Maybe the answer is in those photos. Were there any extracurricular activities you loved doing as a kid outside of school that you loved the most, you couldn't wait to do? Summer activities or even summer camps? Like, what did you ask your parents to sign you up for? Was there something you always did? Like me, my brother, and our friends, we bike to town every single day. We went to the pool, we played pool basketball. So were there summer activities that you just always did? Were there camps that you went to? Were there favorite activities inside the camp that you did? And then maybe even dreams, I think, is a really good one. What were your childhood dreams? What did you want to be as a kid? Sorry, what did you want to be when you grew up as a kid? Did you have dreams? And so these are just other prompts, but ultimately, what did you love as a kid? Anything that you just did. There are no wrong answers. It would be better to list more things and maybe even things that you feel like are stupid. Like, I don't know, we built forts every night. Cool, right? Fort building down. There are no wrong answers. There's no wrong way or bad way to do this. The only bad way would be not to write the thing that came up in your head. 5 minutes. Here we go. About one more minute, maybe a little less. I forgot to start timer. If we're feeling good, maybe I'll jump into the next one. And you can just keep writing. What comes easy? So again, kind of separate question. You could think about this as a kid, like now, what comes easy that frustrates you when other people struggle with it? This could be various things. Um, Even for me, I always think when I was an engineer in college, I had one friend, we would do these study groups, and he would like have to sh like show his work like every like if there's a 10 and there's like a 4, he has to like add 10 plus 4. He'll write 10 plus 4. I'm like, dude, you can do that part in your head. Skip the 10 plus 4, like just say 14 and like write the next part that's complicated. You don't need to write addition. Like little things like that even. If there's anything that there just feels like it's like, why is this hard for you? Like what the hell? It might be like, I don't know if I had examples here. I don't think so. Um, like showing up at the gym. Like, I don't know why it's hard for people to show up at the gym. I just show up. Like, easy for me to just be consistent. Maybe make healthy food choices. Um, Again, for me, like, honestly, like being vulnerable. Uh, it could be partially a wound, but it's easy for me to be vulnerable. Um, uh, and so when people struggle, like sharing those things, not so much anymore as a coach, and I have empathy, but sense for the people, it's like, why don't you just share? Just share. If you share, you'll be able to move through it. All right. Our next question here. What's easy for you to do that nobody else has to tell you to do? This is similar to the last question. Some of the examples I gave already. Is it working out? Is it writing? Do you journal every day? Eating healthy? O overly communicating? Like, are you a really good communicator? Really good at making friends? You've always been good at making friends? Again, my example is like, I was always like creating something, telling stories, starting the blog, Snapchat, then being content. It's like, it makes sense that I help people create content. No one really had ever had to tell me to do that. I would just do that. I'll go like 30 more seconds here. All right. If you had a weekend to yourself to just devour books, podcasts, documentaries, maybe attend a seminar from the world's leading expert in something, what would you do? Not what you have to do, or what you have been doing. Maybe that's it. But what is the topic that you would just devour? And for example, I was wanting to read Joseph Campbell's most popular book. He's like the hero's journey guy. Um, and I just fucking like just didn't want to read it at all. And I'm like, what is this expectation on myself that I have to read the storytelling book? Like, why do I have to do this? Um, and there were other books that I was more interested in. And so don't think about like, oh, I'm the storytelling guy, so now I have to read all these books. Is there something like you truly want to read? Is there something you truly want to learn? And maybe you were given $10,000 to take a course. Um, what would you want to learn? Would you want to get a certification in something, breath work or, internal family systems? Is there something like that? I might even add to this. If you look at your bookshelf, if you look at your podcasts, what do you listen to? If you had to throw out all your books except for like 10, which ones would you keep? Not which ones would you keep because, oh, if people came in and saw I had these 10 books, they'd be like, oh, you're really smart. You kept the Joe Dispenza books. No, like, which ones would you want? You're on a desert island by yourself. You have 10 books for the rest of your life. What are the topics that you're keeping? The whole point is that with this answer, like, this should be fun. If you're saying, oh, I would take this seminar because then I'd have this certification and then everybody would trust me. It's like probably doing it for the wrong reasons. The point is to enjoy the journey. So if you have this weekend, what would be so fun to just dive into? 30 more seconds here. One more question to ponder. All right. What do people come to you for? Are people naturally drawn to you for something? But do you notice that people come to you for things? What do people ask you questions about? What do your friends come to you for? Similarly, how I noticed that triple, quadruple the amount of people would sign up for my storytelling workshops. Is there anything that your friends come to you for? I'll give you about 3 minutes here. All right, and just another like a minute or two, you can just go over these questions again, and maybe something else pops in your head if you weren't already doing that. But just kind of peruse the questions over once more and just see if anything else pops up. And I'll give you 1 more minute there. And if anybody wants to come on and share, come off mute. And did anything surprise you? Did anything like excite you on your list? What do you got? I'm not asking you to fit it into the mold of your mission statement and all of that. I just want to know like what came up for you.
I'll go. I
Yeah.
think what came up for me is I really did forget what I did love to do as a kid. I mean, it's been a while.
Yeah.
So it's not like it was just happened. It's been a long time since I was a kid. And I realized like I love roller skating. I love I was watching someone's video and it reminded me of, yeah, I used to love staring at myself in the mirror too. And I used to love like having fun singing in front of it and just being silly in front of that. I completely forgot. I forgot that I love to make dirt patties and like also play in the dirt. Like I forgot. And then I had to like get up, go ask my mom a question, and then I went back and then it just started flooding in. So I
Hmm.
thought that was really cool to just to go back to that space to remember. It's been a long
Awesome.
time.
Yeah, I love it. Thanks for sharing that. Super cool. Anybody else?
Maybe I'll go. Um, I don't have a hard time forgetting what I loved as a kid because I've been like actively fueling my inner 9-year-old for the past couple of years, so that part was easy. Um, Harder to come up with the stuff that like I do that no one tells me to do. Like I'm like, oh, like what is coming easy to me? But then when I got to what are people drawn to me for, it's like when they want to feel seen, when they want to be witnessed. Like I'm like a life coach and a therapist and a dating coach to every single one of my friends. I used to joke that I should start charging them by the hour. Um, and just like help navigating change, I think. So that was kind of fun to be like, oh yeah. Um, Anyways,
Yeah,
lots
awesome.
of other good stuff there, but
Super
those are
cool.
fun.
That's great. Thank you for sharing that. One more. Anyone else?
One thing that came up for me is that I, as a kid, I always, always, always loved to entertain people. Like me and my sisters were always coming up with way, like ideas. Like I wrote down, we had a band called the All American Bumblebees, and we wrote songs and we made up like fake instruments in our basement and made tickets and invited everyone in the neighborhood to come over to our house. And our mom was pissed 'cause she's like, I don't want to host 40 people, you know? There's also like a lot of like business ideas that like I didn't know were business ideas at the time, but like we had this Barbie software that made magazines. And so one of us would be like the creative director of the magazine, and then I would be like the ops person, like putting the editing notes in the magazine paper and like submitting it to the
Wow,
editors and like things like that.
that's
So
awesome.
like there's like a theme of like business things coming up and like what in that direction, and then also like a theme of entertainment and humor and like loving to make people laugh
It's awesome.
doing like silly things.
Awesome. I love that. That's so fun.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that. That's great. All right, awesome. Cool. Let's keep moving through. I may speak to a few of these things. Um, this is gonna automatically play. Okay, pause that. Whoops. Making. Okay, so this was a Make. I love Rick Rubin. Oh my God. Can I pause it without it fucking going backwards? Making things. There we go. So if you don't know Rick Rubin, he's a really famous producer. He's produced fucking everyone, like from Johnny Cash to Jay-Z, Red Hot Chili Peppers, just so many people. And his really only skill is like he has good taste and he really helps people uh create what they need to create without any limitations, which is beautiful. I see a lot of what I try to do in that, and I love him and see him as a mentor, and he's really great. And so this is him in an interview. It's a beautiful interview, but this clip was from Instagram, and this to me kind of sets up where we're going with all of this, and I'll kind of tie in some of the things you guys shared. But if we just listen to this clip, and I'll speak to it, it's super fun. Okay, let's do it. Making things that you yourself like. That's it. And so, okay, this is very choppy. Has my video been choppy too? I feel like it has been. What's my choice of the way I chose to share? Um, Let me just stop my video and see if that helps. You can see it's also loading, so we'll try it again. Making things that you yourself like. That's it. And sometimes I'll go into a friend's house
And I'll think, the furniture in here isn't arranged in the best way. Maybe I'll rearrange the furniture. No, you don't. I've done that. But again, I didn't know in advance. I got obviously it's just like, this is what I want to hear. I'm making it for me. I think the metaphor that you're using there, though, is like almost like a map for people to find a life's work if they haven't found it yet. Yeah. It's like, what are you already doing? Yeah. And what will you do no matter what?
All right, that didn't play super well, but just to articulate, he's like, this dude's a music producer. He's like, I'll go into people's houses and rearrange their furniture and be like, it would look better this way. And then he does it, and he's right, and it's beautiful. And it's like, and he's like, and he kind of mentions, I think this is a clip to an earlier, but he's like, I am making things for me that I like, and it turns out that that's the best thing. So we talked about that. Rule number one, it's for me first. And then I just love this ending part of this clip. The guy says, what are you doing already? And then Rick says, and what are you doing? And what will you do no matter what? That's when we go back to like, what is easy for you to do? What are you already doing that you're overlooking? You kind of put it off as like, well, yeah, of course I do that. Doesn't everybody do that? No, fucking no. Everybody doesn't do that. And a lot of that is clues. And maybe this journaling exercise got you a little bit closer to like, what are these things that I've maybe abandoned that I kind of wish I had time for, that you need to make time for, these things that lift up your soul, these things that you can probably find a way in which they directly can support your business. And so, like it might be crazy, but even D-Rod being like, making mud pies and playing in the mud. It's like maybe creating an environment in which people feel safe enough to express themselves means getting in nature and playing in the mud. And maybe that's how you host retreats because like I don't know if that's the thing, right? But again, this is just refinement and reflection on like, do I have to do things the way everybody fucking says to do them? Or is there something unique about the way in which I can offer things to the world that is easy for me and that I love and that makes me feel alive? And if it makes me feel alive, it gives people greater access to this other portion of the work that we're doing, right? If we're doing, there's a reason why we journal because I fucking fill up like a journal every month, probably more, because that's a core thing for me. And so I'm offering that to you guys with all these exercises we do in the journaling. This is just guided journal prompts to help you get closer and closer and reflect and refine. So that's why I do. That's part of what I offer in this is like, oh, I do this no matter what. Every morning, no matter what, I'm journaling for myself. And this is called fuck, what's the word I'm looking for? Foreshadowing. I'm foreshadowing right now, which you're gonna find out in like 10 seconds. But this is what you want to find out. It's like, oh, Rick Rubin already is a guy with impeccable tastes, and he allows himself to just be that guy. I don't give a fuck if I go into my friend's room and it's like, why is the table there? That's ugly. The table should be here. He doesn't worry about that judgment of someone being like, dude, don't rearrange my house. He's like, no, this is like what I do. It doesn't matter if it's in music. Yeah, music is his profession, but he allows his taste to show up everywhere else in the world. And this is kind of what we're wanting to start to do. Like we're gonna keep getting into this in the next weeks, but this is like story living where you allow yourself to be yourself fully in all capacities of life. All right. So when we get back to this mission, we will check in at the end, but I just want to give you an opportunity if you're getting a little bit closer, maybe to your mission. I help person, people, whatever, specific type of person get result by Zone of Genius. Uh, this will be your homework, so you might not nail it today, but I just wanted to give you a few minutes to just keep refining. So I help highly self-aware people change the world by telling stories of their pursuit of happiness. I have been relentlessly on my pursuit of happiness, specifically since 2016, since that bike trip. And I've been unapologetically telling the stories along the way. No one had told me how to do that, right? So this is my zone of genius. And so does anything get brought up for you? Are you getting a little bit closer? If not, that's totally okay. But maybe something came up for you where you're getting a little bit closer to that zone of genius, that thing that you can offer the world, the how of how you help people. And before we go into this, again, you might not figure this out today, but I want to keep it open to like this mission or the zone of genius is how you get the results. And so like, what is a thing that you'd want to be known for? What would be exciting? Because this is going to be your life's work. And are you going to want to continue to tell stories your whole life and pursue happiness? It's like, yes, that sounds great for me. And so your zone of genius doesn't necessarily have to, like, there's so many ways to have a zone of genius. One of the ways could be a framework, like I have this specific three-step process. Or if you guys know Byron Katie's 4 questions, she has 4 questions on a way to, I forget exactly, I probably should have looked it up before. Um, but it's like when you're in like a rumination or you're making up stories about somebody, it's like question number 1 is like, is it true? And then question 2 is like, are you absolutely certain that it is true? And then who would you be if this wasn't true? And then I forget the other question. But that's kind of like her framework. That's what she got known for. And it's a really simple way for her, the way in which she helps people. And so that's how she got known, and it's a framework she got known for. Maybe you have a signature method. Example, this could be like Wim Hof. Like breathwork's not new, but Wim Hof has his version, and it's gone wildly famous for like Wim specific way of breathing. It's literally his name. And so that's a signature method. CrossFit is a signature method. There's a way to describe CrossFit in 100 words or less, and there's like it's functional fitness, whatever. But like CrossFit is kind of like a myriad of things. But all right, we know it as the name CrossFit. But there's Olympic lifting, there's gymnastics, there's weightlifting, like there's all this shit inside of it. There's my signature method of story living and the triangle I show you guys. So that's signature method. And the way we tell our founder story and create content, like all this stuff. Parts work and internal family systems, like that's a methodology of therapy. Um, so it's not necessarily, so hopefully you're getting the point of like what your zone of genius might be. It's a singular behavior, right? James Clear, the author of Atomic Habits, like habits, fix your habits, change your life, or whatever. Like he has a line about that, right? So it could be that. It could be Brene Brown's vulnerability, like be more vulnerable and your life will change. It could be telling stories, like become a storyteller. That will change your life. It could be dance, right? If you just danced, all your problems will be solved. Whatever, is there a thing you want to get known for? There's probably other things that I'm not really able to articulate, but like there's so many ways in which your zone of genius could be expressed. So it's not just like, I don't want you to be limited in the idea that it's like a word or a specific thing. It's like, again, I could say, instead of this statement, I could say like, I help highly self-aware people change the world through story living. And then go, story living? What is that? Right? And then get curious, and I could explain what exactly story living is. And so there's like so many ways to do this, but I just want that to be open to you all. Yeah, another thing I was thinking about while you all were journaling is like when I was a kid, I love building shit. I love making card houses. My dad got my brother and I a basketball hoop one year, completely disassembled, and it was like in the box. And I was like, sick. I get to put the basketball hoop together and like get all the tools out. Like I think half the gift was me putting it together. I love building snow forts. Um, I what was the other thing I was gonna say? Oh, IKEA furniture. Like, sign me up. You have IKEA furniture and you don't want to do it? Call me. I'll do it. Puzzles, fucking love them. I love building shit. So maybe the things that I love and the things that come easy for me, the things that bring me joy, and I could just like drink a beer and listen to music while I'm putting IKEA furniture together. Like that's a Friday night for me. That's sick. I also love building back ends of things. Like I love building out Circle. I actually do enjoy making these slideshows. So maybe like building back end systems for people is something that I could do. Maybe that's actually where I could find a lot of joy in my work. And maybe I help, really spiritual people who don't like getting in the structural weeds of things. Like maybe I help them build back ends. So I'm just offering shit just to say like your options could be limitless in the way that you help change the world. Um, so I just wanted to give you a few more minutes just to kind of reflect on all of this, having said all of that, and see if anything else comes up for you as you think about your mission. And so I'll just give you another 5 minutes. Has my video not been on this whole time? Oh, I turned it off for the video. I forgot. Uh, yeah, so I'll just give you another 5 minutes to journal and reflect on this. And then, yeah, and then we have one more section and we'll open up for Q&A. I'm actually going to give you like 3 minutes because I just want to move forward, if I'm being honest. All right, we'll be refining. Let's move forward. Communion. If anybody grew up in the Catholic faith, this is not about eating bread or the body of Christ. Hopefully that's not triggering for anyone. But communion to me is any type of space or any type of moment where you create space to just be honest with yourself, to meet yourself where you're at, to lovingly notice what's up, what's going on, what do I want, what's causing me anxiety, what am I excited about, just like a space to be honest with yourself. And so this could be things like I know Kelsey just left, but she had talked a lot about morning pages. Morning pages is a great process where it's not any specific journaling. It's 3 pages in the morning. You don't let your pen stop writing. You just fucking send it. Um, this could be meditation, with the real goal of just clearing your mind and coming back to the breath and having that practice meditation. Communion could be a lot of different things. And one of the things I will offer you guys is proactive communion. And I'll explain exactly what that is. But a lot of people will tell you, you need to create more than you need to consume. And they're absolutely right about that. A lot of people need to be creating more than they're consuming. We consume way too much. Um, but I think what's missing in that conversation is communing with yourself, having space to just proactively think about shit. Just space where you're not worried about creating something that's going to be judged by people and you're obviously not consuming anything, but you are just in the ideation phase. And that's what proactive communion is. And so to effectively talk about and do proactive communion, we go back to the 5 second moments we've learned last week. That 5 second moment in your stories that I talked about, where you have that moment of realization about yourself or the way the world works that inspires you to change. the trying to do something new, different, bold, be someone you haven't always been, show up a little bit more empowered. Proactive communion is giving yourself space to identify these moments, and these moments happen all the fucking time if you become more aware of them. In your effort to be a more whole, loving, peaceful, joyful, excited version of yourself, right? Are we noticing the things that can get in the way of that? Judgment of other people, which happens constantly. You know, there's homeless people on the sidewalk here in San Diego, and am I judging these people? Do I have love for them and understanding and compassion for them? Somebody cuts me off in traffic, am I getting upset or am I being a loving version of myself? Like, there's a million examples of this I could give, right? When something doesn't go your way and you get frustrated and anxious, like, how do you know that it was supposed to work out that way? There's always constantly opportunities for you to be that more loving, trusting, peaceful version of yourself in all of life. And so, this proactive communion is the act of reflecting on these moments, not just the moments in which you are disempowered, but also the moments in which you are empowered. And oftentimes the reflection of the empowering moments are my favorite. And so a space for you to proactively commune with yourself on the empowered moments of your life. Moments, like we've been discussing today, where you effortlessly take empowered action. Opportunities for you to identify your natural gifts, the ways in which you just do the fucking empowered thing. So often, things that we never used to do, even. Um, like traffic is always my best example of like people cut me off. It like does not bother me. I get stuck in traffic, even if I'm in a rush, I'm gonna be late. Like I'm really just automatically like I just settle into being like cool, chill. The old version of me, 22-year-old Matt, had road rage and would have screamed and went nuts and switching lanes and going crazy. And it's like I just don't do that. I don't even have to convince myself not to do that. I just do that. And now these things that are natural to us, we just put off as like, well, yeah, of course. But oftentimes the things that we do now weren't the things we were always so good at. And so this evolvement that we've had, like, we want to just take moments to celebrate ourselves and to notice how far we've come. Things that have become effortless, that a lot of people struggle with. Just noticing that stuff. Like, wow, you know, even the journaling thing, like, wow, I've journaled like every day for the like last few years. It's like that's really cool. That's a beautiful process, where I'm able to meet myself. And a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people don't give themselves space. I've been sitting in 50 to hour 15-minute meditations the last month. That's fucking crazy. And I could easily just go like, yeah, well, I've been practicing this for 6 years and it's taken long enough. No, honor yourself for it. And that goes kind of hand in hand a little bit with the moments you do step into a new version of empowerment. Maybe moments where you could have lied to somebody, but you chose to tell the truth. Moments where you could have gotten angry, but you got curious instead. Moments where you wanted to be defensive, but you got curious. Whatever that might be. Just noticing those moments where you're like, "Whoa, like, wow, I'm growing." Like yesterday, just because Paul and Amy are here and they're a couple makes me want to talk about relationships. But it's like, if whatever, Paul didn't do the dishes when Amy asked like two times, and she's like for the third time, and maybe Paul like wants to get defensive, be like, I've been so busy, all this. And instead of getting defensive, he just goes, oh, you're so right. And I said I would do it last night. I'm so sorry. I'll do it right now. And it's like, ooh, he could catch himself not being defensive. I'm projecting. I get defensive oftentimes. I learned that from both my mom and my dad. So noticing moments where I don't get so defensive in many areas of life, but it's easy, right, to do that with your partner or to parents or family members. So giving yourself space to notice those empowering moments. Um, and again, this is like I'm just offering this to you, this project communion as a whole, but the little piece here, and I'll talk about this in your assignment, is seeing where you can start to identify your natural gifts where you already do those things. And then noticing the disempowering moments. Moments where, oh, yesterday I was not showing up as my highest self. In these proactive communion spaces, can you notice those moments? Can you love and honor the part of you that didn't show up as the most empowering version of you? Part, the part who is anxious, who is fearful, who wanted to lie, who wanted to judge people. It does no good to shame those parts. You will be stuck in a shame loop forever. Learn to love yourself, love those parts of yourself, and honor them. And then ask yourself, how will I show up more empowered next time this happens? And when? When is the situation? Can you already project that future, predict the future in which you can already show up more empowered? And what will you do? How will you show up more empowered next time? And my hint here are the things you're naturally already good at that you're maybe not leaning into as much as you could. So, for example, so Lex, I'm staying in her place. She's a client, and she she loves dancing, and it grounds her and all this stuff. And oftentimes when she's like dysregulated and frustrated with life and all these things, I'm like, "How often are you dancing?" And she's like, "I haven't danced this week at all." And I'm like, "Why aren't you dancing?" Do we remember what rule number one is? Rule number one? Yeah, Paul, let's get it.
Do it for yourself.
Do it for yourself first. Rule number one, do it for you. So I tell Lex, and it's like, you dance because it makes you feel good. It gives you and creates space for you to give and receive more love when you get out of your head into your body and you dance and feel good. You do it for you so you can show up better for the rest of the world. And it might just be the case, it might just so happen to be the case, that was a weird sentence, that dancing could be an integral part of Lex's business. Lex is a relationship coach. Can she get couples together to dance? Can she help a woman dance to reconnect to herself so she can learn to love herself so that she isn't so needy with the next guy she meets and needing the guy to be her source of power? Divine feminine, right, Amy? And so again, my point is that when we think about your work in this world, no, everything's connected. Building mud pies. Again, I know that it sounds silly, but maybe that's a thing. Alex, entertaining people, effortlessly entertaining people, hosting parties. Maybe hosting parties is an integral part of your business and how you generate leads, or maybe just how you help people. Maybe you only because you speaking gigs, and maybe you get speaking gigs in San Diego, and since you have so many in-person clients, that actually an integral part of your business is masterminding a bunch of women to remember their what's the word? What's the word? Resiliency. Thank you, I got it. Uh and you host resiliency dinners where you come and you host and you actually put on little shows and I don't know, right? But that could be the most fun fucking thing ever. And so this is my point to offer you, and kind of holistically rounding all this out is where are you just limiting your options? Where are these fun things, the things that come easy to you that could actually be part of your work? Again, it doesn't necessarily have to be your zone of genius. Maybe it is. And maybe you find something like storytelling. And again, this is so easy to say looking back and doing and showing the story I told you guys. But how long did I spend not having any idea that storytelling was my thing? So don't be frustrated with yourself. You're like, I don't know what the fucking thing is. It's okay. We're refining, we're getting clear. It's the whole process of life. There's nowhere to be. We get to enjoy the process of figuring this stuff out. But we have hypothesis. D Rod has a hypothesis. Maybe she goes out tonight and goes with her kids and just plays in the mud. Maybe it has nothing to do with her business at all, but maybe it's the most fun thing she's done all year with her kids. And how do we know that that's not the thing that starts to bring in more abundance into her life, right? And maybe it is, and maybe that is integral to the business. So just allowing yourself to play here. And so getting back to these disempowering moments and journaling on them, think about this. Just like I said with Lex, it's like, Lex, if dancing is like the thing you love and the thing you did growing up and the thing you've gotten back into more, are you dancing? Are you dancing for yourself? And when you're feeling disempowered, oh yeah, I yelled at that person on the sidewalk. Damn, what fucking happened? Well, I haven't danced all week. Maybe the empowering thing to do would be to like dance every morning. Like maybe that's my new morning routine is to dance. And then whoa, the more Lex reflects and starts to dance, she dances every day, and she's reflecting on her days, and all of a sudden her days are just better. And she isn't frustrated with people on the sidewalk anymore or whatever it might be. And then again, and then maybe dancing's part of the work, part of the way she makes money. But even if it's not, life is better. So, communion, ways to commune with yourself. I've talked a lot about journaling. There's a lot of ways to commune with yourself. I think journaling is the best way, one of the like it's the best way, in my opinion, um, to be able to slow down your thoughts and put stuff on paper and to see things and just kind of slow your thoughts down and actually write stuff out. Just really magical. Um, but walks in nature are a great way to commune with yourself. Leave the phone at home. I know that sounds crazy. At least leave the headphones at home. Just go for a walk in nature and slow down and look at the trees, and look at the clouds and listen to the birds and just be with yourself. And if you bring up an idea, again, if it's not journaling, but similarly with that proactive communion, hmm, what's been challenging in my life? Have I been showing up for myself? Have I been dancing? Have I been playing in the mud? Have I been entertaining people? Have I been bringing people over and putting on a show for people? Um, all of these things just reflecting. No, I don't think I have been. How can I do more of that? What's getting in the way of that? Right? You can do that on your walks. Before, during, and or after a movement practice. What I really love about a movement practice, if you like lift or something, bring up an idea in your head of like, oh man, I was super disempowered. Like, how can I be more empowered? And then don't try and solve it. Oftentimes, I don't really try and solve it all the time. I just kind of just like brain dump about it. But I really love a movement practice. I bring up an idea and then I let it go. And then I go for my run or I do a lift or I dance, like, go out dancing. And then during it or after it, all of a sudden I'm like, oh, well, fuck, I know. It'll like solve all your problems. Uh, for me, if I go for a run in nature, any problem that I ever had gets solved. Like I just feel immediately better. Like there's nothing wrong with the world when I go for a trail run. Um, you don't need music. You don't need another podcast. You don't need another audiobook. I fucking promise you, you don't. And if you start to get comfortable, actually, let me give this rant at the end. And then the final way, like just generally moving through physical space, there's something to that. So if you're on a commute, if you're traveling somewhere, on an airplane, in a car, if you are walking, if you're on a bike, great way to commune with yourself. So getting back to my rant that I was just about to go on. Enough of the podcasts, enough of the books. Who's read like last self-help book? Have you implemented fucking anything from that book? Probably not. Just on to the next one. Last podcast you listened to, what have you implemented from it? The last 10 podcasts you listened to, could you even tell me what they were about? Probably not. The last 10 Instagram posts you saved in your folders, have you ever gone back to look at those? No, you don't need more consumption. You have so much within you. And if you just gave yourself space to reflect and to commune and to think about things, your best fucking ideas will come from there. And I can't stress it enough. And I know for a lot of people, it can feel uncomfortable. Or on a run, it feels like you need the music to motivate you to run 3 miles. You don't. With practice, you will fall in love with being with yourself. And you'll get so addicted to it because there's actually far more dopamine you'll get when you start noticing all these like amazing ideas start coming in, you'll be like, why would I need a podcast when I get all these like ideas I never could have thought of from myself and that feel genuine, true, and authentic. So these are different ways you can commune with yourself, and I highly recommend uh, playing with these and doing them and stop putting headphones in your ears and just being with yourself and thinking about life and how you can show up better and all that stuff. Celebrating yourself too along the way. Like there's nothing better than going for a walk and being like, I'm the fucking man. Like today was good. Like I'm so empowered. I did so many good things today. Look how much work I got done. Look how much love I offer the world. So we're going to focus on journaling. And your assignment this week is uncovering these natural gifts, um, aka your zone of genius. And so, do before next call. Remember, we're always refining. And if you want to tell your story, and if you want to share your new myth, and if you want to share your mission statement, I would love to continue to hear those as you get refined more deeply. And I'm obviously thinking of your zone of genius will help you with your mission. Your mild, your minimum, your bare minimum homework to do is proactive communion. I say every day here, at least 3 days this week. 3 days this next week, a 30-minute journal practice. Try to make it 30 minutes. Give yourself space. Again, you don't need 30 minutes of Netflix. Or make your reward 30 a minute whatever. Make your reward Netflix after 30 minutes of journaling. Okay? Or have it with your morning coffee and journal with your morning coffee. 30 minutes and do this proactive communion. Where was I empowered? See if you can identify the things that came easy to you. Are you starting to notice more of your zone of genius? What am I already doing? What comes easy to me? What are people coming to me for? Where am I empowered in this way? And then ask yourself, where was I disempowered and what can I do next time? And again, hint, hint, am I doing enough of my zone of genius? Am I doing these things for myself? And then part two of the mild homework is, what is your zone of genius? Post that in the assignments chat. And you could just post, I think, post ideas. Remember, action, share, be witnessed in the trying. If you're like, I don't think this is it, just fucking post it. No one in here is going to be like, if you get closer next week, somebody's like, oh, nope, last week you said it was this. No one's going to do that. There's no right or wrong. But if you just wait to get it perfect, you're just not going to get there. I am telling you. By throwing out your shittiest idea, you will actually get to the idea faster. But by holding on to the idea, it's just going to take way longer. Like, throw fucking spaghetti at the wall. This is your space to do it. Throw the spaghetti at the wall. Yeah. Anyway, this is gonna take me on a whole nother rant. So what is your zone of genius? You could just post that, or better yet, just restate your mission statement with your zone of genius in there and post that in the assignments chat. Or just continue to refine. If you love your mission statement, just good. You have nothing to refine. Just post it again. The more you share it, the better. The more you share it, the more you embody that version of you. Like just like mantras or affirmations, right? I am wealthy. I am wealthy. I'm a runner. I'm a runner. I'm a runner. The more you say it, the more you actually become a runner, and then it becomes easier to do the things that runners do, which is run every day and stretch and eat healthy and all that stuff, right? So there's no shortage of how many times you could share your mission with me. I would love to see it every day. Your medium homework. If you haven't done this already, I would set up your Soul Hub. So that's in the mini course, right on the left side of Circle. You'll see it, Soul Hub. Go in there, watch the mini course, set up your Notion account, set up the Soul Hub, and then start using it. Set up the little iPhone shortcut and start using it in conjunction with your proactive communion. When you're communing, you're going to get some good ideas. Open up your Soul Hub, write that idea down. Ooh, here's a good idea for a post. You don't have to post anything. Just note ideas down, have them in an organized place. Here's a good pod. I just thought of a story. Ooh, make a new little note. And I show you how to do that. So if you're like, what the fuck am I talking about? Just go watch the Soul Hub video. I share it all there. Um, But use this in conjunction with your proactive communion. And I promise if you do proactive communion and you have your soul hub, like you'll always have content ideas. You'll always have stories to tell. You will, um, and they'll be like in an organized place in your soul hub. And you won't be like, where the fuck was that idea? And what page was it on in my journal? Like, I don't know where the fuck it is. That's what your soul hub's for. And then your spicy homework, I would love to hear if people do this. Uh, and this might help you get clear on your zone of genius. Ask 5 people close to you what they admire in you. What do they come to you for when they need help? What do they admire in you? If you want, if anybody wants this, I could share like a copy and paste message you could send them. But I would recommend doing it. You can tell them in person, but I would recommend sending them like an email or a text. I find it when I do this, it's easier. It's easier for people to like see and read the prompt. And then give them the option if they want to type it, they can send an audio note back to you and just like brain dump. You can give them options of ways to respond, but it's oftentimes easier for people to like kind of give them a few questions, and I can give you guys these questions. And then you can email it to them or text it to them and be like, respond when you have time. Please respond within the week, though. I'd love to get this back. Tell them it's part of a program you're in. If it feels weird, like, hey, I'm in this program. Our homework is to ask 5 people these questions. I would love your reflection. Not only is this not only is this helpful to maybe understand your zone of genius and your natural gifts to the world, but man, is it an opportunity to just receive love. And I think we all struggle receiving love in so many ways. Like in my shared Airbnb a few weeks ago, I walked in the kitchen and the like my roommate was cooking. I was like, wow, it smells really good. And she's like, it's just garlic. And I'm like, why don't you just say thank you? Just say thanks, right? It's like easy for you. No, it wasn't easy for me. Like, why do we do this to ourselves? People are like, nice shirt. And it's like, oh, yeah, I've had it forever. Just say thank you. We really struggle receiving. And if you are able to ask people this and they give you feedback, it's probably one of the most beautiful experiences you can have. Um, but it feels vulnerable, so it's spicy. But if you do this, like, just do it for you, honestly. It's a beautiful thing. But it will help you in this process as well. So, all right, that's the homework. I just wanted to share next week, week 5, we are getting into identities, the who. We're going on this final step into who you are and getting a lot of clarity here. And then once we do that, next week we are also kind of talking about the rest of the like the I said at the beginning of this call, like this is where it gets really fun because now this triangle just gets mirrored. And we're gonna talk about the true act of story living, um, which is just so fun. But we have now truly next week we'll be on the last phase of setting up the groundwork. Um, and just this process of reconnecting to who you are and showing up for yourself and realizing that you're not for everybody and you have specific preferences and you have a specific mission and you have things that worked in your life that work for you. So you're going to help other people accomplish the same things. You're not going to try to be for everybody. That's just more people pleasing tendencies. Show up for your people in your specific way. And that way you don't have to convince anyone of everything. There's a past version of you that wants exactly the gift you hold right now, all the things you can offer that person. Think about last week to the coffee shop exercise. Like that's a beautiful exercise to revisit whenever you're ready. And maybe after this course, but just thinking about that past version of you sitting across from you, how much you have, how much love you have to offer them, how much knowledge and wisdom you have to offer them, how much reflection and beauty you can offer them without needing to convince them. So anyway, uh, anyway, cool. That's it. I would love to open this space. Again, this is for anything. If you're working on your story, if you're working on your mission, your new myth, whatever, the floor is yours. If you have any other questions, always happy to chat about those.
Hi Matt.
Hi, Paul.
Yeah, one of my questions. Maybe there's a little bit of self-doubt in there. But it's like for my mission statement, which I think this is my most refined version at the moment. I've just put it, like I've typed it up. It's called I show people how to break free of themselves by embodying who they truly are. So it's like basically, you know, and like the way I narrow that down or make it make sense to myself would be like, so I'm teaching people how to be themselves. But it's like then it's like how the fuck do I do that? Like that's the part I can't work out. It's like how do I can't just tell you to be yourself. Like how would I break that down and like empower you? That's what I'm having struggle with at the moment. Trying to work out like how I'd
Yeah.
actually offer that.
So one of the this probably should have been a slide. So I appreciate the question. One of the reasons why we did our stories is because the how is typically inside of your story. And so when I think of your story, and I think maybe there was some refinement since the last revision, but if we go off this idea that it's your environment, um, then maybe the how is like creating an environment which helps you become, which gives you the space or whatever, or however you want to explain that. But like
Mm.
it's reconstructing your environment. It's kind of the opposite of maybe what you say, which is like my, I think it was like my environment is keeping me stuck. My environment doesn't dictate my results, but actually, kind of in a way, your environment
Oh,
does
I've
dictate your
revised.
results.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I've revised my story a bit since my last revision, and I changed my old myth,
Yeah.
which was which was in my environment, and I realized it was actually just my own personal limitations
Mm,
that may have been a result of my environment, but it was just like whatever kind of like I was a victim within my own mind, basically.
mm.
That's like old myth of self. Um, So that's why, like, now it's like I want to show people how to break free of themselves and that, like, because I did that for me, and it wasn't actually my environment. It was just me realizing, stop being a bitch, Paul.
Something what?
So I don't know. Sorry. For me, it was just like having that realization moment of like, stop being a bitch, Paul,
Oh,
and like
stop being
stop
a bitch.
complaining about everything and just like,
But
yeah,
you,
stop being a bitch.
but
Yeah.
you. I mean, we could play with that. I don't think that's necessarily it, but maybe it is. But like, what did you do then? You just stopped being a bitch? If you stopped being a bitch, what's the opposite of that?
Like I just started taking action and like doing things that I knew I probably should have been doing. You know what I mean? Like
Like
that
what?
I just like wasn't.
Yeah, like what?
I wanted to blame everything else except me. You know what I mean? Like going to the gym and like just being like just developing taking action on developing my personal well-being and feeling better. Like I just didn't do any of that for a long time
Hmm. So,
because
okay,
like I always wanted to blame outside things.
yeah. So blame is a big thing.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Yeah, blame was a big thing for me as a kid.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so how did you move past that?
I just like I stopped wanting. I wanted to see something different in the world. I wanted to feel different about myself. So I just started doing things that I knew I should have been doing. Like whatever knowledge I had on like what I think would be beneficial for me at that time,
Hmm.
I just started taking action on it.
What was
Like
the first thing?
empowering myself, basically.
Yeah, what was the number one thing?
Um, like the first thing as like the younger version of me,
What was the first thing you took
like
action on?
literally just started doing research on like nutrition, for example,
Yeah,
and
nutrition
trying
was
to
the first
implement
thing.
that into my life. Yeah, whatever. Like just research. Just be like, okay, like I need to learn how to improve my life. And like just watching a bunch of random gym content
How
and
come?
just taking that initial step to be able to like, oh, that's something different.
Yeah, how come it was
Um,
nutrition was the first thing?
Nutrition. It was because I was a chubby kid my whole life, and that didn't help with my self-image at all. So I knew if I could at least like feel better about how I physically felt, yeah, it would probably help with other areas of my life.
What
So
happened? What
yeah,
happened?
this is like 18-year-old Paul.
Yeah. What happened after the research? I know your story, but I don't want to answer for you. So tell me what happened after you did the research.
Um, well, I tried implementing it, and I like relapsed pretty quickly because
What was the
it was
implementation?
limited research and like
Okay.
sorry.
No, no, this is good. I'm curious, uh, the action you took. Like you said it fell apart because it was limited research. Uh, when did you know it was like enough research and to start like taking action on?
Well, okay, I'll answer the other part when it was like limited, which was like I'd go out and I'd have like all this like spurt like this motivation, and I would like go outside in my backyard, start doing like jumping jacks and like doing all these different exercises randomly with no programming. I was just like, you know what? If this guy on YouTube with a six pack does it, it probably works. And like I was expecting results like straight away, like the next morning, not realizing how long it actually takes to, transform yourself.
Hmm.
So it was actually my expectation on on it as well, like wanting that instant gratification of like if I just eat a banana, an apple today, tomorrow I'm gonna wake up with abs, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was like the limited part. You know what I mean? Like I'd be watching there's a lot of rubbish out there in terms of like fitness content and a lot of like misinformation. So I'd be watching all these different things and not knowing how to decipher what's actually good,
Hmm.
or what's actually applicable to me. So trying to implement that caused limitations, and then I would relapse pretty quickly and just go back to my old habits or whatever I was doing at the time. Um, so yeah, that was kind of like the trying initially, if that's what I'm trying to get at. And then,
Yeah.
but the empowerment was that I was trying to do something though for myself. So
Hmm. So, I think what's partially fun is like when you break this down, it's like how you help people is how you help yourself. And what you're
mm,
looking for is to remove those mistakes,
mm,
but to still kind of take them through the path. So it's like this could be super fun that I don't think anyone does, which is that if somebody they could come to you for anything, but let's say it's weight loss. You're not going to tell you're not you don't need to be a personal trainer. What you could do is um make them do their own research. Like think about going to school or like doing your PhD. It's like no one tells you. You're just like, we'll give you a PhD. You just like do all your own fucking research and write the paper. And like, well,
yeah,
it'll be peer reviewed and stuff. It's kind of like that where it's like you want to lose weight. Like this is the number one way to do it because I actually think this is kind of genius because the way people actually stick with something is if they research their own shit, and learn it themselves, then they truly understand it.
mm,
And what you can help them do is like, okay, maybe you're like, hey, we're gonna pick one core goal. What's the one thing you want to do? I want to work on my nutrition, right? I want to like work on my strength, whatever. It's like, great. Step one, like say it's like a course like this. It's like week one, research. That's what I did. Research. What you're gonna help them do, and then like take action on the research. And what you help them
mm,
do is not fall apart. You give them the space to like continue to be committed and teach them how to. You said one thing you said was decipher what's good, what's the rubbish, what's bullshit, what's getting in the way. Part of what your coaching could potentially be is like reminding people that results don't happen overnight from eating one fucking apple. Um, and
yeah,
like yeah, so part of the how again, and this is when I go back to like, oh, what's my zone of genius? All right, it's not one. It could be like you're the research guy, like I don't know, like initial action guy, or it could be like, no, I have this process. It's called the Paul. procedure, and it's research, action, refinement, decipher. Like I don't know, you could have like a five-part thing that you take people through.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
then what becomes then the fun part here is that like if that's what's worked for you in the past, where it's like now you have your own process for life, right?
Mm.
I want to grow a business. Let's do a bunch of free research before hiring somebody. Like, let's do research. Let's try it on my own. Let's take bold action. What did I learn from my nutrition journey? Number one, like this isn't going to happen overnight, so don't forget that. Number two, there's rubbish, but the only way to decipher the rubbish is to do shit and then make my own, because like everything can actually work. Um, but what is really real, only I can like really know by doing. And right, so like that's just how you live your life.
Yeah.
And that's like your own formula. And that's where
Yeah.
we get back to, as what we talk about with story living, where it's like you're helping all
Mm.
these people beneath you. And
Mm.
maybe, yeah,
Yeah.
maybe you do.
Yeah.
Maybe you are talking a lot about fitness and nutrition, and that's kind of a niche you started because that's your truth. Um,
Mm.
or the other side of things is like, what do you want now?
Mm.
And then you
Yeah.
utilize your process for that to achieve what you want. And then you just share the journey with the world.
Yeah. Understood.
Does that make any sense?
Cool. So creating a process. It does. It actually does. Like the pull process. I like that.
Yeah.
Uh, um,
Yeah.
yeah. All right.
Paul Clifford.
I'm gonna journal on that.
Yeah. So again, that's just an idea, and I want you to play in that.
Yeah.
And again, it might be like, yeah, perfect. I have this five-step process, and then you make it a triangle like it is, or you make it a wheel, or it's a fucking spiral, or it's a Venn diagram. Like you can make it look however you want and play in that. And then over time,
Yeah.
like what I'm showing you guys, the triangle, I could show you 15 variations of that, of what it used to look like and all this shit. Um, and it's all on Instagram too. You can scroll back far enough and find the brand framework from like 2022. And it's just putting stuff out there. And then we get to this idea of story living. Oh, now I have this name. And so for you, again, it could be this five-part process. Maybe in that five-part process, it's really like, no, I'm research guy. Well, I don't know, like, this is called the initial step. All you need to do is take the initial step. Like, I'm making shit up, right? But like, this is the fun part where you get to start to play in.
Mm. Okay.
But you don't
Cool.
wait till I just want to reiterate, like you don't wait till you have a five-part process. Be like, sick. Maybe I should pull up. It would take a while to scroll to, but I'll post it. I'll post it in the chat. The first time I posted the brand framework, which is what you guys are learning now, the story living, the art of story living, and it's a fucking mess. But everything I'm teaching was developed from that. But I just throwing shit out there and refining.
Mm. Yeah. No, 100%. I guess just another question I have, which is related to the whole coaching side of things and starting your own brand and like if you want to really offer your mission to the world, I think it's just I guess another doubt, which would be like, don't you need to have like a sort of like somewhat big following in order to like offer something to the
No,
world?
not at all.
Because it's like the way I look, I'm gonna be honest, like the way I see even like joining your course, this course that we're doing now, it's like I see on Instagram you've got a pretty good following. And then it's like I see what you do, and it's just like, oh, like indirectly as humans, I feel like it validates what someone's saying when other people also agree with it.
Mhm.
Do you know what? So
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah,
for
yeah,
me,
totally. But no,
like,
I
yeah,
don't think my following is. I mean, there is a little bit of people see it, and then there's automatic authority built in with a following size. But I wouldn't say the following has helped me really grow the business at all. It's a lot of number. Honestly, I think it's hurt because it kind of drowned out the people who I think really enjoyed my content, and so whatever. I'm not gonna blame the algorithm or anything, but like I was making six figures when I had 2,500 followers to 4,000 followers and like slowly growing. And it was
mm,
just through the storytelling and just building community and all of that. So you do not need a huge following. And yeah, if it's built in the wrong way, it can be worse, which is partially how, I got I got like 30,000 followers from one reel like 2.5 years ago, maybe almost 3 years
Mm.
ago now. And who the fuck are those 30,000 people? Like they don't engage. I'm like, can you please, like, I would love to go back to 10,000 followers. Um, and all the
Yeah.
followers I've gotten from other reels, but this one reel just kind of went off, and um, yeah, it felt like it's hurt more than anything.
Yeah. I feel like I've just got this notion in my head where it's like, I don't know who put it there, but it's like the more followers you have, the more engagement there, the more like, you know what I mean? The more money,
Not true. Yeah,
the
it's
more,
not true at
yeah,
all. I pay really close
yeah.
attention to stuff, and I, people who have hundreds of thousand followers, and then I check their videos, and it's like 20 likes, and I get shit that gets 20 likes sometimes, and the algorithm is just weird. Um,
Okay. So, yeah,
and
I just want to clarify on that
yeah,
because, like, yeah,
but
all good.
you will see the outliers. There's one woman I follow, Jessie G, and I'll actually use her as an example next week. She blew up in like 5 months, had a $1.2 million launch. She's got like 350,000 followers now. Um, and then we see that one thing, and then we're like, that's how it is. And if I'm not doing that, I fucking suck. And it's like, you can't compare yourself to the one fucking person who did this miraculous thing and then consider yourself a failure if you're not that person. Because actually, the 99.9% of people like aren't doing that.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
but yeah, we just compare ourselves to that thing, and those are the people who are allowed and stand out. But the fact is, like, there's nobody like truly, yeah, everybody wants 100,000 followers and a bunch of fucking comments and all this stuff. But the truth is, there's so many people with not huge followings that make great money and have a great business.
Mm. Yeah. Cool.
It's an easy thing to
Cool.
sell.
Yeah. No, all good. Thanks, Matt.
Yeah.
Actually, just to add to what we were just talking about, because no one else has jumped in, um, I actually did hear this stat. I think it was like a few weeks ago on a podcast I listened to, which basically was that out of like all the people that consume on like all the people who are on social media, only like 2% of them actually create content.
Yeah.
And then like in that 1%, in that 2%, only like a certain percentage make a living off it.
Yeah.
And it's kind of just like it shows you how many people don't do what you
Yeah.
think has been done. Because like when you're always watching people who do what you want to do, or like you know what I mean, in that
Feels like
same
everyone's
field,
doing it. Yeah.
it feels like everyone's doing it. Like actually, me and Amy had this conversation the other day. It's just like, is everybody become fucking coaches now? It's like, is this what's happening?
Yeah.
And it's like, no, it's just like we watch a lot of coaches.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, is this what like the world is now? It's like, no. It's like, is everybody just coaching everybody? Is this what's happening?
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it was just peace of mind realizing that
Yeah.
like 98% of people on social media don't actually engage with the way we do.
I
Yeah.
feel like the algorithm that
Um,
starts putting coaches into your into your Instagram or whatever, it just starts bringing
oh.
it in, and then I felt inauthentic. I'm like, oh my God, this is gross. This is gross. But I'm
Yeah,
wondering if that's what's just being put in front of me because I've searched those things.
Yeah. 100%.
yeah,
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 we get in our own little bubble of things, and
yeah.
even I have stopped liking all that stuff, and now my feed is musicians and other artists like painters and poets and stuff, um, and it's not filled with coaches and stuff, and I just don't really need that. So I really enjoy. There's a whole other side of Instagram I'm in, you know.
Mhm. Yeah. No, I had to unfollow a lot of people a while back because it was getting too much. Like there's too many. Like you only said, like I actually convinced myself for a while that if oh, as long as I'm on Instagram, if I'm scrolling and it's like all spiritual related content, it's actually like a mindful way of doing it. But the fact is, I'm
Yeah,
still scrolling,
yeah,
and it got
totally.
really bad because I started looking for like external affirmations to like validate whatever was going on in my life. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
I'll just go on Instagram, it'll answer my problems.
Mhm.
You
Yeah.
know, I had to do a big detox of that like a while back.
Yeah,
Um,
I've been down that same sh I was in that same shit when I was on the East Coast of the States, and I was in my like winter collapse, and it was not good, and I'd be scrolling and just waiting for someone to say something, and I'm like, this is actually the opposite of what you want, because you're telling yourself that you can't do that for yourself. You can't be the light
mm,
source that you want, and
mm,
it can only come from incessantly scrolling, or somebody else will tell you that you're worthy, and that's not really a great place to be. Have that external validation.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
Someone will
it
focus on
kind of dopamine, man. It feels fucking good in the moment, and then you turn it off. You're like, I don't feel like shit. That's
that. No, 100%. I mean, if you see how like Instagram is designed and like how much money they spend into that app to literally just like
what they all
capture
do.
your attention. Yeah, they all do it, but it's just like that red little laugh out symbol. It's like addictive.
Yeah.
Uh, um, but anyway, that's a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amy, Alex, how are you guys with everything today?
I don't have any questions. I think for me, I just need to go and like take steps in what I want to do. And
Hmm.
because I was like, I rewrote my mission as we are going through like things, and I was just like, a part of me was just like, oh, but I'm not an expert at these things yet. So how am I supposed to incorporate all these things? And I think it was just more of like a I just think I need to go take more steps and like things that I actually am passionate about and grow that, I think, for myself at the moment. Because then I got stuck on like the framework and like you were talking about how to get results.
Hmm.
And then I was just like, well, I don't fucking know. And
Mm.
then
Yeah.
based on even the same question we had like what we talked about last time about how to incorporate your passions, and then you brought up I forgot their name, but the your friend that does the dancing,
Alex,
and then how she could do that with her
relax.
relation.
Sorry.
Yeah, Alex, and how she could do it with the dancing. And then I was thinking about myself, and I was like, well, I don't know how to properly fucking dance. How am I supposed to incorporate that into like?
Hmm.
I just go into like a little bit of a spiral.
Mm.
Um, so I think for me, I just need to go do. I think that was my answer I gave myself, unless you have a different answer, but I think
Nope.
I
I
just need to
love
go
it.
do.
Do it. Spend this next week just
Yeah.
fucking sending it. Do all the amazing things. It'll be a good lead into next week as well. So yeah, I won't even say more. I think
Mm.
you're spot on. I would go embody it all. All the things that you love and that have helped you and you enjoy, and go go see what it's like to like prioritize those things.
Mm. No, 100%. And I feel like I'm seeing that more than ever at the moment, to be honest. So
Mhm. Uh,
just gotta go do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Nike. Just do it.
Yes.
Alex, how are you?
I'm good. I don't have any questions either. I think I have so many fucking thoughts. I don't know how to sort it out in my head. Okay, so okay. I'm gonna read this mission statement that just came into my head. I think
Cool.
all the other ones I've shared, they feel so ambiguous. I'm like, what
Okay.
does that actually mean? I'm like, I don't, I'm just saying words and it sounds good. I help, blah, 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 empower, buzzword,
Yeah.
etc.
Yeah.
I think what the core of what I want to help women specifically do, okay, this goes back to Amy's thought about power, stepping into your power. So, anyway, I'll stop explaining it. I empower you to go after what you want by helping you and help you build the resilience to get there. I think that's like the resilience. And then I keep coming back to this idea. I used to sign all of my newsletters like, I believe in you. I believe in your ability to make these changes. XO, your number one hype girl, Alex.
Mhm.
Because I think people come to me like I kind of what Kelsey was saying. It's like they come to me for like advice and like I'm like their therapist and life
Yeah.
coach and like all
Yeah.
these things. And I think I one of my strengths is I can see like the specialness of other people and I help them realize that.
Yeah.
And like I was talking about previously, change is really hard. Change is really scary. A lot of people stay complacent because it's like the uncomfortableness of the known versus getting uncomfortable into the unknown.
Mhm.
And I think from my whole lived experience, it's like the perseverance, the grit. I set my mind to something and I'm like, okay, I can get there, I can do that, and I want to help other people do the same.
I
So
think I think that's a
yeah.
huge difference from what you've been saying about, like, I forget what that was before, but like remind them of the resilience or whatever, but like helping them
Yeah.
actually build resilience
Yeah.
because they don't have it. That's why
Correct.
they can't do it. You have had it.
Correct.
It's been easy for you. The perseverance,
Yeah.
the grit. Now the fun part is for you to go, what the fuck is that? Why have I had such great resilience? Why have I been so gritty? You know, what are the things that I've leaned on? What has supported me? And to start to uncover those things and maybe things you've learned along the way of that. Again, to like what I said to Paul, it's like you're also helping him shorten that gap to be like, what did you fuck up on? You know, and let's not do that. And how do we not do that? Oh, well, we need to start journaling on these questions, or you need a mission statement or whatever, right? And I think that's a huge difference to be like, I'm gonna help you build resilience so you can achieve the life you want or whatever. Like if
Yeah.
resilience is the no, like Brene Brown's like vulnerability is the number one thing. It's like you're like resilience is the number one thing. I'm going to teach you how to build resilience. And then yeah, I mean you might have a three-step process or resilience is these six things.
Hmm.
And I'll teach you how to get those six things.
Hmm.
One plus two plus equals resilience.
Yeah, because it really isn't like, because like a lot of my old myth, new myth stuff is really like I was on this path that someone gave to me that I was just following blindly. And then I woke up to that and I'm like, okay, the old myth is like this corporate ladder shit, but that's not actually what I want to help people with. Like,
Yeah.
I don't like if you like your job, amazing. Maybe the thing is you want to move across the country
Yeah.
and you're scared to do that. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna hype you up to like help you realize that you can make that move. Yeah, it's gonna be uncomfortable.
Right.
Yeah, you're gonna be lonely, blah, blah, blah. Right. So it's not necessarily like the job thing. It was
Yeah.
the job thing for
Switch
me,
careers even,
right? Yeah. Like
stay in it, but
totally.
like, go from
And
this
when
to
I was,
marketing.
yeah, because when I first worked with a career coach, I was like, okay, they're just going to help me find something in the health and wellness space. Like I had no intention of becoming an entrepreneur. That's
Yeah.
just kind of what happened
Yeah.
through my own process. But like going into that, I was like, okay, this job is not it. This marketing path is not it. Let me find the thing that's more meaningful in this direction.
Mhm.
So that's where I've been getting like tripped up because I'm like, it's not fuck corporate, quit your corporate job.
Right. Right.
It's like, what do you act, what's going to make you happy? Whether that's a
Yeah.
relationship, the city you're living in, the people you're with, the job you're doing.
Did your career coach help you get the Sir Kensington? Was that the like the wellness space you went into?
No, I was working in Sir Kensington. Sir Kensington's was my marketing career.
Yeah. Okay.
And then when I hired the career coach, that was the last, I was working at Sir Kensington's when I hired the career coach, actually.
Wasn't there like a you had so it was before Sir Kensington where you're like, oh, I want to work more with something in the health space or
Yeah, and I worked for, it was called Greatest. It was a health and wellness publication, and I created content,
Mhm.
actually, health and wellness content. That was my job. I was a content strategist for Greatest, and we produced a bunch of different like Instagram series
Mm.
around like meal planning, working out, mental health, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That and then that was like, ooh, I'm in the health and wellness space. That's cool. But I was still doing marketing sh stuff.
Yeah. But that was after Sir Kensington
That
or
was before.
okay. Okay.
But that was
Um,
a startup and they laid everybody off because it got
okay.
acquired. So like I probably would have stayed there for a long time
Yeah. Yeah.
had that not been the case.
Yeah. That
But
worked out.
thank God
Yeah.
that didn't work out.
Well, yeah, more things into the resiliency bucket of,
Totally.
all of it. And again, even the yeah, all of it with your story and like COVID and then getting the coach and yeah. I think that's it. I think it's really starting to and it might shape your talk a little bit of like not just being the hype woman, but actually like here's the tangible thing you can actually do.
Hmm.
Because, most people, because even for your talk, it will probably last longer for people if 1% of the crowd actually went and did the things you said compared to like everybody being hype, but then the hype wanes and they go and then, a week passes and they're back where they were. But 1% of the crowd actually does the four things you said that build resiliency. And then they actually are able to, move across
Hmm.
the country, whatever they need to do.
Hmm. Yeah. So I think from like, what do I want to be known for? I do think it is just like that singular behavior, like you said. Like Brene Brown is known for vulnerability. I think
Yeah.
that is my thing. I do think that is what I want to be known for. And
Yeah.
then like you as like the storytelling guy, I want to be like the one who is like sparking your belief in yourself to be like, oh yeah, I can do this.
Mhm.
I, I believe that I can now do this, and now here are the tools to actually go do it.
Yeah, I know how. And it's
Yeah,
like I know that I have the awareness now that I haven't been resilient. Like I have been letting these things put me down and blah 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 blah. With
and
that
it,
awareness, and they go, "Oh,
yeah,
I need resiliency," and then Alex is the person.
yeah. And I think perseverance has been like a theme of my life since I was young.
Mm,
And I like see that.
yeah.
Like I think the first like good example I have of that like resilience is when I was 16, and at that time I really wanted to be a professional dancer, but I was having knee problems and I had to have knee surgery.
Mm,
And I was so determined over the summer to like do the PT and do the rehab so that I could get back to dance and get back to doing the thing that I love. And the orthopedist was like, you need 6 months. And I was like, well, fuck that. I'm going to do it in 4. And then so that way I don't miss
yeah.
competition season, and it's just like
Yeah.
things like that. And like applying
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
colleges, didn't get in where I wanted to go. And I was like, okay, let's figure out like next steps. Let's make the best out of this situation and pivot, right? Like
Yeah.
I like see those things along the way, like the resilience and the perseverance pieces have always been there
Yeah.
naturally.
That's where, yeah, that's cool. Yeah. And even you've had like what holds you back? It's like, well, somewhere along the line, you were doing something that wasn't fully in alignment.
Totally.
It was easy to be perseverant and to do your rehab in 4 months instead of six because you love dancing and wanted it. That's the problem with everybody else. They're doing a job they don't like. So yeah, you're not persevering. You're not, your boss says, we skipped over you and we promoted that person. And you're like, oh yeah, makes sense. It's like you have no perseverance because you don't fucking want it. Like, so that step one, what do you fucking want?
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Yeah, that's why the first part of the mission is like, I'm empowering you to go after what you actually want.
Yeah. First you need to know it.
You got to know it.
Yeah.
And then I'll give you the toolbox to get through the hard shit.
Yeah. Well, that is the tool, but that's number one of the toolbox. If you know
Yeah.
what you want and truly want it, perseverance, like that's perseverance. It gets easier to persevere
Yeah.
or to be resilient or whatever.
Yeah.
Awesome. Good stuff. Good stuff, everybody. I struggle with the medium, mild, medium, spicy homework because I always want the spicy homework to be like make content. So that's on the table. Make content. And that goes for like Amy, even you. You're like, I just want to do shit. It's like just take people on the fucking journey. Like you have nothing to lose. Be like, guys, I used to love dancing in the mirror. I'm gonna fucking like I'm gonna dance. I'm gonna learn YouTube and I'm gonna learn this dance. It's like fucking make a journey, make a video of that. I don't know. Like share the journey. People fucking love the journey. The one thing I will say, we will talk about this in a few weeks, but since I'm talking about it, if you're going to share the journey, you share the empowered journey. If you're not empowered, don't talk about it. If you feel like shit because you couldn't get the dance right, don't talk about it. Get the fucking dance right. And if you don't want to do the dance, then say fuck it. I'm moving on to something different, but that might also be an empowered choice. But if you're like can't get the dance and you just want to quit, it's like, do you really want to be able to do this TikTok dance? Then fucking go for a walk, chill the fuck out, try again tomorrow, and then chill the fuck out, try again the next day, and then oh, you gave yourself 2 more days and you finally got it. Now you have a great story to tell. Oh, old me would have given up. Now speaking about perseverance and resilience, but anyway, so we will talk about this as a big part of the second half of the program. But I'm introducing it with this journal prompt of like, if you're disempowered, go get empowered. And if you take yourself through disempowerment to empowerment in your life for you first, you will always have a story to tell. And it's oftentimes the case that, like I said with Lex, with the dancing, it's like the thing you love doing, your zone of genius, like the thing, like I was in group there. I was in group therapy like a month ago, and somebody was like, this is what I tell my clients. And I commented in the group, and I was like, if we all just took our own medicine, none of us would need help. Like we could all just coach ourselves. That's kind of what this is. That's
Mhm.
what the proactive communion is. It's like just fucking therapy yourself. If you can be honest with yourself and if you can love yourself, and then if you can just go, oh, silly me, it's okay. I forgot. We forget all the time. But now I woke up. I haven't danced at all this week. What have I been doing? And it might also take some time to be like, what does make me feel empowered? Oh, every morning I do this Joe Dispenza meditation. I feel on top of the fucking world. Why would I not prioritize that? Wow, every time I go to a community event, like it's a 5 out of 5 day. I better be going to community events at least 3 days a week. Every time I practice my guitar, I feel on top of the world, like then I should be practicing my guitar more. And if we're doing those things and we're fucking happy, then what else do we need? And my final statement about that is if we are fucking happy, then we are vibrating up here and then our goals just meet us because our goals want to be attracted to that shit. All right. I might end up saying that at the end of every call, but it's just a reminder. Like, we just get in our own way. And this is the soul work, you soul creator. Like, you know what you need to do. Be honest with yourself, love yourself, and do the right thing for yourself. And it's probably like not Netflix and a glass of wine. It's probably like meditating, or maybe it's making that piece of content. It's eating the death cookie. We'll talk about it next week. But thank you guys for being here. It's been enough time. Paul, what do you got? What do you got for me?
No, I was just gonna say I've actually been making a lot of content lately. I don't know if you've seen it or not.
Has not popped up. Of course it hasn't.
But no, the last three pieces of content in particular, I've been very happy with because I've used a lot of the Notion prompts, the journaling,
Yeah, yeah, nice.
to decipher it out, and I've been connecting my story to it. But the other
Dope.
day, I went to go make something. I've kind of got this like I want to make three pieces a week sort of thing,
Nice.
like ahead of schedule, and then kind of similar to you, I think. Um, and then post it, Monday, Wednesday, Friday sort of thing. And the other day, I had like just a blank, like a writer's block. Like I didn't know what the fuck to write. Like even I went through all my like little quotes I've written down. I'm like, I don't know how to expand on this right now.
Mm.
So you know what I did? And like this is something that we spoke about briefly. I've got like a section on my phone, like for photos that are just like spiritual memes, you know. And
Mm.
I literally just looked at them. I was like, you know what? Maybe I can get inspiration from here. And I found one. It was like making a joke out of meditation. I'm like, you know what? It was literally just a simple meme. Yeah. And I was like, you know what? I could fucking make something on this. Like, I could just add my own 2 cents into it. It was like, if I do like a video of me like meditating and then, the inner dialogue, like I voice over the inner dialogue of what's actually happening.
Yeah.
So that's what I did.
Nice.
But it's like, it's not like copying. It's like what you sort of said. You can
No,
kind of
yeah.
like see, like
That's
mimic, not
inspiration.
mimic, but yeah, inspiration.
Yeah.
And I was just like, yeah, since making content in that sort of way, and like I've always found the way to kind of connect it back to me now, like make it resonate, like the experience, the story, the trying.
Hmm.
Um, it feels a lot. It's actually been doing a lot better, like with engagement, but it just feels a lot more alive. Like even for me, like I actually feel good making it. It's not just like it's not telling people anymore. I'm not telling you.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
telling you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
I love it.
yeah. Anyway, I wasn't sure if you had seen it or not, but
No, no, I'm gonna go look after this.
yeah, my
I'm
last
excited to
three
check it
posts.
out.
Everything before that is kind of like whatever.
Okay. All right, nice. I'll check out the last three. Hell yeah, dude.
Um,
That's
anyway,
awesome. Yeah. Yeah, thanks for sharing that. I love it. I love that you're
yeah.
using that stuff. That's awesome.
So yeah,
That's
no,
good.
I think that's the biggest thing, and I might speak for some other people in this group, but like you just got to take action, because you can think about everything, you can like roadmap it, but like sometimes you just got to do it. Um,
Pretty much always, you just got to do it.
and that's where the clarity will come. So anyway, I just wanted to share that.
Rule number three. Thank you. Thank you for
Yeah.
edifying that. I appreciate you. Hell yeah. Take action. And dude, in 1 month, like you don't even remember those posts. but that will be the post that have gotten you that much better in a month from now. So
No, 100%.
yeah,
100%.
awesome. Good
Cool.
stuff. All right, guys. Thanks for being here. I will talk to you soon.
All right, bye.